Hi, this is Russ from the Air Users blog, and I thought I'd give you an overview of the Venom Synth hardware and let you know how it all works and what it all does. So let's start at the top left of the synth, and you'll see a set of controllers, volume controllers, pots. The first one, of course, is master volume. That sets the entire volume of everything going through Venom. And then on the next left, you've got synth volume. That sets the volume of the synth within Venom. And remember, Venom's also an audio interface to use with Pro Tools. So then you can plug a mic in, and that's where you set your mic gain, and you've got your clip signal. There you see a clip light. So if you're bringing too much gain in, it will tell you're clipping, and the one below on those LEDs shows you that the signal is actually coming in. Then we've got instrument gain, guitars and synths, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on, but that's where you'd set your instrument gain. Then you have direct monitor. That's once you've got those gains set up, how much is coming through. And then we have a mono monitor if you want to mono monitor stuff instead of stereo monitor it. Coming down next, that's where you switch your arpeggiator on and off, and where you can tap tempo. If you press that, 4 taps will give you your new tempo by tapping that button. Also, if you hold both buttons down, then you can latch the arpeggiator so you don't have to keep your fingers pressed on the keys once it's playing. Then you have the octave up and down keys. Press them, obviously, left one for down, right one for up. If you hold them both down, then you get a transpose option, and basically you hold it both down and then hit any key around middle C. So if you're playing in D, you want to transpose to D, you'd press those two down and then hold down the D key above middle C. And then coming down a bit further, you then have your pitch bend and modulation controls. Coming into the next area, then you've got your performance controls. And basically this is a matrix grid. And what it does is, if you see on the left there, you've got these 2 buttons, up and down buttons. And then below you'll see the writing, depending on where that green light is at the time. So at the moment it's on the top row. So at the moment, with the green light set, all of those controls would control filter cutoff, resonance, filter envelope amount, and filter key track. And then as you move down, then it would move to different things. So if you wanted to change the volume, for example, you'd need to move that button down until you got down to volume, and then you would then be able to change the volume of that part. And of course, then on the other side is the button. What does the button do? Depending on where you're set on the grid, it either sets the filter type, the sync mode, unison on and off, insert effects type. So get used to using that and play around with that a bit. Coming along to our right a bit more, then you've got mode. So we've got pattern mode, we've got multi-mode and single mode. That's the different playing modes for the keyboard. So if you're in single mode, it'll play just a single part. If you're in multi-mode, then it'll play one of 4 parts, which if we come a little further right here to the multi-control, you'll see then you've got part 1, 2, 3 and 4. And so if you're using multi-parts, that's where that would come in. And then above you've got pattern mode, where you can choose and edit patterns. Next, if you've got screen, and the screen gives you a readout of what's going on, so it tells you which bank you're in, and your bank select is there to the right, and the value, it just changes things as you press different buttons depending on where you are. So if you're in single mode and you move the value, then it will change to singles. If you're in multi mode and you change the value, then it will change to a different multi. And if you're in pattern mode and you move the value, then it will move to a different pattern. Then you've got multi-control, mute, enable or select buttons. Now depending on where that's set, so if it's in select at the moment, when I have select and then I choose one of those parts, then I will be able to edit it with the value buttons, the pattern and such like. So I could choose a pattern for pattern multi-part 1 by clicking this down to select, choosing the 1, choosing the pattern, and then using the value to control it. Of course, as well, if you look above the keyboard as well, you then have the edit global values. If you hit the edit button, as I say, then you can come and change things like MIDI out, local control, and different channels. Then we move to the back of the synth. If we move left to right, you've got the left and right outputs. The right one works in mono, plug them both and you've got a stereo output. Then you've got auxiliary input, you can bring decks into there or different audio. It's just a stereo synth or tape, and then put it through the filters on the Venom. Really cool. Then you plug your instruments in, like a guitar or a keyboard, your microphone. You've got an expression pedal where you can change the volume with a volume pedal, and a sustain, just like a conventional sustain on any keyboard. MIDI in, MIDI out. That's your USB connector, and that enables you to connect it to your computer, Mac or PC, and then use it as an audio interface as well for Pro Tools, which is really cool. So actually Venom itself is also a Pro Tools interface, which is really helpful, a class compliant interface. Then you've got the power supply, plug input there, and then you've got a power on and off. So there we are. There's your hardware overview for Venom. I hope that's been a help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.